Hey everybody, I just wanted to give an update on the situation with my son and the dog and his mom and all that because it's been a while since I let anybody know. Oh, by the way, yeah, new additions to the family. I've taken up orchids, but whatever. Um, yeah, my son has been in counseling and therapy now for since the summer, so it's the end of September now. Um, so he's doing a lot better. Um, it sucks what happened. It was a long battle to get his mother to see therapy as being a good idea. Um, Ultimately, though, she's finally on board, and she is the one paying for the therapy and taking him to therapy as it should. And I want to kind of talk a little bit about how I actually managed to make that happen. As some of my other videos talked about, and I haven't gone back and reviewed them, I can only assume that I've talked about it. One of the powerful ways you can frame things as narcissists is to use some of their techniques back on them, but in a healthy way. So you can always, it's always a mistake to try the whole tit for tat, like let me just treat you how you treat me and see how you like it, because that goes in a circle. You can use their tactics and their psychologies in ways that are positive. It's different per individual. Like there's certainly not a simple instruction manual for it. But the way that I did things was I used triangulation in a positive way. And so the way that I did this was by taking myself out of the picture, by saying, look, these are the things that Hayden tells me when he's here, right? I'm just the messenger, right? So she can accuse me of attacking her and all that stuff. I say, look, I don't know what goes on there because I'm not there. I'm just the messenger. So understand, I have no skin in this game. My only involvement is because I think it's unhealthy for him to grow up as an adult hating you and resenting you. And if I wanted that to happen, all I would have to do is not pick up the phone, right? So I'm not being underhanded in any of this. I don't gain a damn thing from this. He does. I'm doing it for him because you don't. Apparently, communication between you two is not helping. So just keep that in mind. I can always go back to just not helping you and just let him grow up to hate you if that's what you want. If you don't want me prying and digging into your business, which was the accusation. I feel like you're prying, all this stuff. It's like, well, you can feel that way. And if you want me to stop, then he can just grow up hating you. That's going to be the inevitable result, or at least a prolonged period of having a trauma that is not dealt with, an unresolved trauma, right? Unresolved childhood trauma. Hey, it's a new fad, right? Wrong. So that was the angle that I used, and it turned out to be very positive. She was dragging her feet on the whole therapy thing. Eventually got her to admit that she was only dragging her feet because she was hoping that it would just resolve on its own, right? And I told her, it's like, look, I would pay for it. I would do all the footwork, except for the fact that would create the wrong, that would be the wrong path to healing for him, right? Because you're the one that hurt him. For me to do it, that communicates mom hurt me and refused to fix me. And so my dad had to actually swoop in and fill in the gap for my mom because my mother has no sympathy, no remorse, no regret, and doesn't care about the fact that she hurt me. And frankly, the longer you take to do that, the louder and more and clearer that message comes to him, and he would not be wrong either, because that would be exactly the truth. You don't care enough, right? Because when you actually care about something, you make sacrifices, you know? So you don't get to sit there and play the card of, I'm a mama grizzly and I would do anything for my child, except for taking him to therapy because I messed up and got rid of his dog, right? So just understand, you know, It's like, and just understand that that's not coming from me. That is how our child is taking it. So you should definitely fix that. You don't have to, right? And dad will pick up the pieces, but then I get the feeling if dad picks up the pieces, you're not going to like the way I put those pieces back together. I get the feeling you would much rather be the one to put the pieces back of what you broke. And I would prefer that too, because that's what's best for our son. So that's what you do. And so she finally got him into counseling around July. It's been July, August. It's been about 3 months. He showed up and he said, "Dad, I have good news." He said, "I'm feeling a whole lot better about the whole dog thing. Like, I'm still sad about it, but I've kind of accepted it and moved on now." And so he has lots of good things to say about his counselor. He's starting to feel more emotionally capable, standing on his own 2 feet. He's becoming a lot more comfortable in expressing how he feels about certain things and not just being so quick to be a pushover. He's learning how to advocate for himself. All good things. He's 14 years old, bigger than me. He's 14 years old, 200 pounds, and wears a size 13 shoe. Like his age and his shoe size are like almost the same. It's insane. So, and me, I'm just a little guy, right? So he's bigger than me. So I'm officially obsolete. Yay. But yeah, things in the dog domain are good. There's even a little bit of healing between his mom and I. I hate to use the term healing because I don't actually think that's the correct term. I don't know what else you would call it, except maybe coming to a bit of a better understanding of the last 9 years. She says something along the lines of, "I just never envisioned that things would be so difficult between us." And I said, well, it started with this whole dog thing, and now that she's finally has the negative light on her in an unhideable manner, was able to say, for years I couldn't talk to you about anything that went on because every time he had some kind of sob story for you, it was all love and hugs and snuggles. And of course, kids want that. And if he didn't have a story about me, he didn't get it because you would be cold and distant, right? Because you couldn't believe if he had a nice weekend with nothing bad to report, you'd be like, "Are you sure? Are you sure? You can tell me. You can tell me anything. You don't have to hide anything," and just keep on and on until he has something bad to report, and then he gets the snuggles, right? Because in your mind, you want to make sure that there's no abuse being perpetuated, like your abusive mother, and that's a fine and noble goal. But whenever it comes to a 4-year-old and the things that a 4-year-old child tells you, and then you come to me accusing me of stuff, and I say, well, that's actually not what happened. I can tell you exactly what happens. And you're like, no, Hayden would never lie to me. It's like, yeah, well, he's also 4. He still believes in Santa Claus, right? So perceptions of reality are really just more suggestions for children that age. I said, I tried and tried and tried, but what else am I supposed to do when the other parent absolutely refuses to believe anything I say or do? Like, you were calling and upsetting him. She would call every day. "I love you. I just miss you just so much. And I love you and I'm thinking about you." We could be, it doesn't matter what it is we're doing. Anytime you call a child and interrupt their day to tell them how much you love them and miss them and wish you could be there and wish you could see them and tell them that you're just hoping for them to come back, that's going to ruin the day for any child. I don't care who they are, how old they are, etc. You do that as a parent, you're going to mess up that child, right? That's going to take all the joy out of the day. And it's going to take a long time for them to get their enthusiasm back for the day. Tried telling you over and over. You refused to listen, so I had to cut communications for him, right? And now here we are. He's 14. it's kind of a little late. A little late for that. So at least now she can kind of see it, maybe. But who knows? She may or may not convince herself of something otherwise. But I don't know. There's also the fact that 10 years have passed and people tend to mellow with time. That might have something to do with it. But